What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included Season 3, and we are sorting out my peeps again, duplicants. Again, just making sure that when I get a new duplicant that they have a specific task. I'm only going to pick them for a specific task. Also, I need to try and remember not to pick the ones that fart frequently because they annoy me, but I think I might have already let one in. But anyway, and then their priorities will be set up to do specific chores, and their skills set will also be set to that. Now, other than their actual task that their skill set is for, you will probably see me give them all the carry capacity up to 800 kilos, just because why wouldn't you? If their morale's not affected by it, it's fine. There's a bug here, I don't know what happened. Resetting it did fix it, and we'll reset it very shortly, but there's stuff there even though it's showing on the build menu, but you can't cancel it, so I've got no idea what I did or how that happened. So we have the farm built, or at least the farm plots built, and the millwood growing on them. We do only have 5 duplicants, so in terms of calories that should be sufficient as long as someone is maintaining that. We obviously also have the mush bar maker as well, so we are eating soil as a backup, or dirt as a backup. And again, there are plenty of hatchlings about, and the more I dig, the more I find. I am not going to be killing them for food of any description now, or by food I mean barbecue, because you'd need a grill to do that anyway, and we don't currently have that yet. But again, the hatchlings are specifically going to be farmed to try and make sure we do not run out of coal. And with the magic of editing, you can see there we now have a kitchen and a grill. So mush bar, anything we can really make from this thing for now, as long as they don't die, I don't care. The mush bar obviously can be fried, so we'll do that too. Fried mushrooms are reasonably easy to get. Pickled meal, we're obviously growing that, and then there is the barbecue should we get any meats, but of course I am not going to be killing the hatchlings yet. I want a nice big army of hatchlings converting my sedimentary rock into coal, and then we can get a power plant in ASAP, because of course the hamster wheel thing is working, but it will stop working very quickly, and you will need to build, well, I'd probably need 3 or so, and we don't have the efficiency loss on it. It's just not worth it. You have to use, like, I don't know, 50 to 60% of your duplicants to power the base, and then nobody can do anything. So the quicker we can get the power in, the better. Okay, so moving over to the left-hand side of the base, I am ripping out around. What I'm going to do is, at the very start, as soon as I can anyway, is get some insulation in. So there are a couple of areas specifically where we're looking at now, and then further down on both sides where the temperature is quite drastic in terms of up. About 37 to 40 degrees, and I don't want that anywhere near my duplicants' living quarters. Up, there is a geyser in the way. We do have the ability to move a geyser right smack in the middle below, as you just saw there. That was lava around a petrified fossil, so that's going to be fun, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, I'm just going to dig up the side there, which gives that one gap to between the ladder and the wall, and that will be for the insulative tiles once we have unlocked them. I need to do that on the right hand side as well, and then once I've got some sort of decision made based on the level of where I want to go downwards, I will then put it along the bottom as well, just to encase the base to keep it as comfortable as possible. You saw me do it on the last season, but I think I was a bit lazy on the last season and left it a bit too long. The quicker you get your power spine in, and the quicker you get your insulation in, and your controllability towards the temperature fluctuations, you will be a lot better off moving forward. So in this quote-unquote water source over here, I'm actually going to open it up a bit more. So I was going to put a pump in there to basically take that away, but these 3 water sources I may as well just link together, as long as I don't get too close to that petrified or putrefied, whatever it's called, fossil, where the heat will then warm up the water. I should be safe to go, and then that is a decent amount of water to go through. It will of course get turned into polluted water, or at least the water for the plumbing. The water for research will be wasted. Well, not wasted, but you won't be able to get it back. All of the polluted water I will save, and eventually we will of course filter that back to clean water using the sieve. Be careful when extending your base like this though, because although digging down is good for getting your carbon dioxide out of the way, if you dig too far down too fast, you will also bring the oxygen down with you. It's the same for digging up. So if you dig up above your base and leave that area empty and not used, that is where likely your oxygen will congregate, because obviously the oxygen will go up. Unless you've got a lot of hydrogen, which of course will hold above the oxygen, you will have a problem. So you want to make sure that you build and dig responsibly so that you're not moving the oxygen outside of your living areas or pushing your carbon dioxide into your living areas. Just leveling up now on the right hand side as well, making sure that it's symmetrical again. Also the 2 blocks below that, just to allow the duplicants to move around. Also for the right hand side, we need to get in that ladder and the insulation gap as well. Plus there will be the power spine going up there too. Now at some point I learned from my previous series, series 2, that I didn't give enough room for them to get in and out of the base. So somewhere down here I will be opening up these floors. Instead of having a room on the left and right hand side, it will just be an open corridor, and then the very far end, left and right again, there will be a sealed door to allow them in and out. And then later on, when I can afford it, these corridors will be filled with masks or Atmos suit changes to allow them to be just a bit safer. I really should eat up all of this slime ASAP to stop the poison. Not poison. What's it called? Germs. There we go. To stop the germs from actually getting into the base. But what I'm going to do is dig it out and replace it with a wall. The slime that will have the germs on it that gets dug up here will immediately be taken and stored underwater, where it cannot off gas or cause any issues, because again, clean water kills germs. And then here I am just chucking the polluted water out the way for now. As soon as I can afford to and the research allows me to, I will be putting a storage tank for the polluted water. And that means that this whole left-hand side that you can see, I will then rip that out and collect all of that. But for now, I just need somewhere for the dirty water to go, so that the sinks, toilets, and eventually showers can be used without blockages. Trying to figure out a recreational room. The water tower in the centre there is not actually being used, or doesn't count because it's not in a recreational room. To make a recreational room, you need a recreational item, which the only one we have is the water tower at the minute, and one or more of the decor items. Now I've moved it here, but it's the wrong place to put it because that is the mess hall, so really I need to move it elsewhere, and I really need to hurry up and get these hatchlings doing something useful as well. So moving the water tower over into a separate room and applying at least one decor item. As soon as one of them decor items is finished, that should now be a recreational room and be a nice blue colour. Perfect. So up on every downtime, the guys should come in here and have a party. Anything in terms of recreation moving forward now will be placed in that room. So that will be the telephone, the jukebox, and anything else really that comes along will go in that room and give them something nice to do to keep their recreation up and their mood high. With the research complete on the refrigerator, I will get one of them in immediately. Now, yes, it does use power, but it is, of course, certainly the right way to go. There is a mod to allow freezers, but without that, the refrigerator is the end game, really. The yellow container there that you see that holds your food does nothing to protect it or keep it fresh. It just stores it. It's a storage place. So you need the refrigerator to make sure your foods last. Now, I need 2 refrigerators, one for the kitchen and one for the food court. The edible food goes in the refrigerator. It's in the mess hall, the food court, and the ingredients, should I say, will go in the one that's in the kitchen to be used. Next step will be then to get the spice grinder. That will allow us then to turn the kitchen into an actual kitchenette, I think it's called, or it might just be kitchen. Either way, it will give it a room classification and make cooking more efficient, faster, and less germs. The mush thing I need to get rid of soon as well. We are now growing the mealworm wood things, so we can use that as our nourishment. The soil versus water mix that you make with that really isn't relevant anymore. It's also using 240 electric, which is a lot of electric for such a crap item. IMO. So I've sort of made a decision on the bottom of the base for now anyway, and that is what you can see there over on the right hand side. I don't really want to go any deeper than that for now, and certainly until we've done something with this water source that we have, and then below that is the whole hot area anyway from that fossil. This guy was suffocating, but that's his own fault. Causing a few problems. They're trying to walk past this instead of digging through it because it's only a lower level. So what I'm going to do is set that to instant priority 10. And all of this as well, and get it dug out. And that means that we have the rooms completed. Now that level you can see above the one that's being dug out at the minute, that is likely going to be what I talked about earlier, which is the corridor. So there will be a wall in there at the end, but it will be a sealed door, and then the door that you can see at the entrance of that where they're standing, that will be taken out. So it'll be like a corridor that goes straight through, and that will be the in and out to get out of the base. Now this is the power solution we have. It's going to be removed from here as soon as I physically can. Batteries and anything energy related create a lot of heat. You do not and should not have your power plant in your base. It won't make any sense to you. I do have, as you can see up at the top there, now finally an agricultural room, a farm, which allows us to collect all these hatches, or hatchlings. No, they're hatchers, they're adults. But I don't have a rancher yet, which is why they're not being collected. As soon as I get my next duplicant print, I will go for husbandry, which will allow us to have ranching level 1. And they will then start grabbing these up and putting them in that room. The room is set, so there's a grooming thing in there to make them happy. There is a feeder that is full of sedimentary rock. There is a down arrow, which means that that's where they get dropped off. The storage bin that was on the far right hand side is for eggs, and all I do is click on the priority 10, get all of the eggs put in there, and then turn it off so that they get dropped on the floor and they get left in there. If they hatch, then they hatch in the farm. They will not incubate inside the storage vessel. They will incubate on the floor, but slowly, 5% a day. An incubator, of course, is your best option to get them to hatch faster, but they are very powerful in terms of energy consumption, and they also give off a lot of heat. So again, not something you want anywhere near your base. Okay, so over on the right hand side again, the power spine is going to be going up where that ladder is, or to the right of that ladder, to the left of that ladder will be insulated tile. I am going to dig into this teleporter, both the receiver and the sender. There are some items in there that we can expect to get. The floppy disks that are the 3rd level of research, I believe it is. Actually no, it's the 4th, right? Yeah, you get the normal station level 1, the supercomputer is level 2, I believe radiation, the rad bolts is level 3, and the material study, which is the floppy disks, is level 4, and then level 5 is the final one. So yeah, I think that's level 4. But also it gives us a teleport. Now we can teleport to another asteroid. There is a cooldown of a few cycles, but depending on what is at that asteroid depends on if it's useful or not. There is a teleporter to send the goods back and forth as well, so if it's a decent asteroid, it may be worth it. But this time, unlike last time, if I send anybody out there, I will be sending them with resources so they can actually survive, because last time I was, again, really lazy. I'm hoping to make a lot more effort, and anybody that's wanting to play this game or learn this game, hopefully you can learn something from me, because I have put a lot of hours into this, but sometimes I rush and do it the lazy way. This time it should be a bit more efficient, I hope. And again, to the power stations or the power creators and the batteries, you can see there, look. That's why I don't keep them in the base. Also, they're gassing off, right? So the coal generator is gassing off carbon dioxide. So it's hot and it's a gas that you don't want. So you want to push that elsewhere. Get it out your base, up, down, left, right. Well, not up, because you want to get to the surface right. Though I don't know where the surface is on this map. I'm not sure if it's up or to the right. Because some of the buildings are the right way up and some of the buildings are on the wonk. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a surprise or a mystery for everyone, but we will figure it out. Leveling out there that final level of the floor, and then we'll need to get some couple of tiles dug out underneath that platform as well to allow us to put some insulation in, because that there to the left where you can see it goes to the purple, and on the right there where the hydrogen is and that purple substrate is, that is obviously very warm substrate. Not because it's purple, that's just the type of it is, but I know that they're the hot biomes. And we're digging into them. So I want to get that insulation in ASAP and get that to stop that heat from transferring into our base. A better way of doing it, I guess, would be to have a vacuum between, because obviously temperature cannot transfer through a vacuum. But that's a bit convoluted for what we've got at the minute. So setting up the power spine, you can see here to the right of the ladder, as I said, and the transformers are going in. These are the low watt. Now, planning out, you will see that I will actually leave a gap for 3 squares, though we are only using 2 for the transformers at the minute. The HV transformers that support up to the 4,000 watts that you'll be using after these are 3 wide. So if you're building your power spine, you need at least 3 squares for the future. 4 to have the ladder to allow people to get there. And then I run the actual cable down the ladder. It's rinse and repeat, really. And then the cables, the thin cables that you use to take off from the transformers onto every floor level. Now, I do have a lot of collected, you can see it off gassing actually up the top there near the bathroom. That's been there far too long. I should have cleared that up a while ago, but I didn't. So putting that tap there, we can use that for the polluted water and get that dumped in there as well, making sure that our base is as clean as a whistle. So we've got the floppy disk coming out of there now, which is good. The power spine is coming nicely. We can now get P, which is our rancher, up to that first level of ranching, which means she should immediately put on her hat and start collecting these hatchlings. There she goes. And then they can be whipped over into there as such. She doesn't actually do the transporting right. This is interesting what I'm seeing. I usually have a lot of problems with them being collected. It looks like it's a different job, so I might need to look into that, and that will make a lot more sense moving forward. But as you can see, they'll immediately go in there, eat, and they crap out coal. We currently have 13.5 tons of coal. The amount of hatchlings, I've not done the math, but I do know that with the hatchlings that we have, which I think we have 8 or so, is enough to keep that number going up, including what we're actually burning, so that's good. And remember that these are burning the coal permanently. They're very inefficient. There is no automations and no smart batteries involved. The smart batteries will turn off the generators when the batteries are full, meaning that we only burn fuel when we actually need energy, and we don't waste the coal burning for the sake of it. And then back over to the power spine, just putting some air tiles in so that there's no gaps of air. I want it to be able to flow. It will get very warm in there, and we need to make sure that, of course, it is able to move around. We can call it at a later date, but I don't need to just yet. There will be some insulation keeping it from the base anyway. As soon as that is in, I have got the wiring availability already. We can get that built and start actually using it straight away. There is a Wi-Fi. Why did I say Wi-Fi? There is a hi-fi, there you go, radio system there in the recreational room as well. It's not plugged in because it uses too much energy. Until I've got this power spine in, I can't power it. We'll get them going on this now. It shouldn't take too long. As soon as this insulation starts getting put in, we will of course then start seeing the temperatures dropped. You can see there that that gap I've left is for the door, and the same here as well. leave a 2 gap for an insulated door so that the whole thing remains secure. There's no heat coming in from the left or the right. Just the bottom, which I'll do shortly. This whole power system is going to be moved over to the right. Where the teleporter buildings are, I'm just going to dump it in there for now because it's out the way and it will work in there. But I think we need to just rush towards the smart batteries to stop wasting fuel. And significantly, to make smart batteries and all of the automations, we need refined metals, and the refined metals, of course, require more heat production by using the, can't remember what it's called, but the smashy thing that basically turns ore into metal. Now there is the furnace, but I'm going to see if we can manage without that because it's a pain in my backside. You can see there, look, that room is on the wonk. And that would state that the actual top of the asteroid is to the right. But then some of the buildings are the right way up, which means the top of the asteroid is at the top. So who knows? Let's find out. And we will find out not too long in the distant future. We are at time now, though, so I am going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. As always, join us on Discord. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.